Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Spiritual Brainstorm. I don't even know which episode this is. I'm driving now, but I had this story that I wanted to share. It's very short, so it's basically the story of two people. There's one that has rather dark skin and the other one has rather soft skin or light skin. And they are right at the edge of paradise. But paradise is up on a cliff, and it's too high for either of them to crawl up there. At the level of their souls, they flip a coin, and the coin lands, and it just so happens that the dark-skinned individual is the one that's going to kneel down so that the lighter-skinned person can crawl on top of the other person and take a sneak peek at paradise. And so the lighter skinned person sort of looks up in paradise and is like mesmerized by the view. The dark skinned person is kind of suffering because it's bearing all the weight. And so after a certain point, the dark skinned person says, "This is enough. Now let me have a glimpse of paradise. Now you crawl back down here so I can crawl on your back and take a look at paradise myself." And obviously, because that was at the level of their souls, at the level of materiality, physical reality, because this is a reality where you need to have reasons for things to happen or cause and effect, then you justify things by the fact that, lighter skinned people had industrialization first, and they had superior weapons, and so they were the ones that colonized the world and not vice versa, blah, 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 blah. But that's just because we're in a third dimensional reality and we need the cause and effect kind of explanation for why things happen the way they happen. But there's another moral to the story here. It is that, yes, we have definitely enjoyed a glimpse of paradise, not the actual paradise, by standing on the back of third world countries, by exploiting their resources, exploiting their cheap labor, all of that stuff, and that is absolutely true. But now is not the time for us to crawl back down. Now is the time to crawl up into paradise and then lift the other person along with us. Now, how does that look? You see, we're on the verge of developing nuclear fusion or some technologies like 3D printing, AI. All of these technologies could allow for near infinite abundance, automated abundance. And if we remain in the lower level consciousness of we're standing on the other person's back and we're going to patent the shit out of all these technologies and then put gatekeeping on them and make sure that, rather than open source all of it, make it available to everyone around the planet and transcend capitalism and this kind of extractive economy thinking, and spread abundance to the entire world, infinite abundance to everyone. And that's what it is like to crawl up into paradise from our vantage point, because we have all the knowledge and superior technology, and then lifting the other person up into heaven with us. And obviously, the experience of being lifted up into heaven is different than crawling up there and then lifting the other person. But what's the problem? Why would everyone have to crawl up into heaven and not be lifted up into heaven? This is just, at the level of the soul, this is just a tiny little experience. Like if you're with two people at the edge of a cliff and one of them decides to kneel while the other one crawls up and then gives you the hand, that experience takes 3 minutes tops, maybe 2. At the level of humanity, it took a couple of centuries for the global organism that we are to develop in such a way where we have one person kneeling while the other person is lifted off. But the idea is not for us to take turns in taking sneak peeks into paradise. That's stupid. It's stupid. The idea is to really crawl really up there, and then make sure that we lift the other person up Because right now what it looks like is, thanks for the lift, now you're gonna have to pay me for me to lift you up into paradise. Because I'm gonna copyright all of this, I'm gonna sell it to you very expensive. We're gonna build all the fusion reactors here, and then, you know, continue exploiting your resources there. That's not the idea. And that's also why we have all the migration problem, because who wants to live in these third world countries? And now there's this, we're on this knife's edge of, let's build walls and let's strengthen our borders. But understand that if you lift the other people into paradise, they don't want to invade your country. They don't want to come and learn another language, adapt to your culture, abandon their language and their roots and their culture. If they have paradise where they are, they'll stay put. They'll be very happy there. But that requires transcending capitalism. And if you listen to this channel, you know that capitalism is basically one phase of humanity's development, and that phase is coming to an end. So hopefully this little story, again, gets you into a non-dual thinking, where there isn't good guys, bad guys again, you know, this kind of analysis where, you know, the white people have to check their privilege. Yeah, we are privileged. We are sneak peeking into paradise, and we are standing on the backs of people of color. Okay, what's the solution? Shall we also kneel? Shall we also crawl down to the same level so that we're all equal, equally miserable? No, obviously not. Obviously, the idea is for us to get our shit together as the privileged ones to create a society of truly sustainable abundance with clean energy production, infinite energy production, such as nuclear fusion, and these technologies that have the potential, that are built on the collective knowledge and wisdom of humanity, like AI, that is trained on all of the accumulated knowledge that humanity has produced over the centuries, and which obviously cannot be proprietary software because, I mean, okay, fine, there's some math behind it, but, you know, most of it is based on, you know, the accumulated knowledge of humanity that we all share. So how can you decently believe that this stuff can be privatized and used for only for personal private profits? So all of these technologies have the potential to lift us into heaven, and then to extend the hand and to all of humanity. And that is what needs to happen. That is what should happen, because the alternative is, well, you know, destruction, our own destruction. Because if we crawl down, there is no hope for us. We have a limited time here to create that kind of civilization, planetary civilization. If we don't do it, it's basically we'll be aborted from this planet. It'll be the kind of, you know, collapse of our societies and civilizations, as has been announced. And yeah, obviously, I hope that it goes the other way. So hopefully you found this interesting. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and talk to you in the next episode. Bye, guys.